Well, welcome back to Hunter Logan Unmiked. This is still season 6, and this is episode 10. Now, I'm traveling. Got a big trip coming up. I'm going to spend a week away. My sister-in-law, who used to be a nurse, is going to stay with my wife, and they do well together. So I don't have to worry about my wife. She's going to be in good hands. So I head out. I'm going to be doing Sunday morning country at the Grand Ole Opry. We've done that now for the last 4 years or so. I'm looking forward to getting over there and seeing some friends, catching up with some folks. Grand Ole Opry is always a great time. Our friend Melanie Walker, who hosts that and puts that on. So it's a nice drive up there. Good drive. Everything works out just fine. It's a great drive, good weather, enjoyable. You get to the Grand Ole Opry and get to see Chip and Nikki Headley. Met some new folks there as well. Love visiting with all those folks. Get to hear some new stories. Love listening and finding out about the stories. If you just listen, find people who are talking. You will pick up on some of the greatest stories ever, if you like that kind of stuff. If you're a music person, and I am, and I love finding out road stories, back stories, studio stories. Usually you find a spouse or a band member, and they're always talking, reminiscing, telling a story. And I'm up in there grabbing everything I can grab, soaking it up like a sponge. I just love that stuff. One of the best things about going to the Opry, one of the best things about meeting any of those folks who have been around for a long time, especially the elder ones. I will sit and listen for hours. You hear me? Hours. It doesn't get old. I'm just fascinated with that, especially when they start talking about the early days of how country music was and what they did, and some of the trips they took and what they did was hilarious, and the things they did and the way some of the artists acted, and it's just amazing, some of the stories you hear. So I always find out new stories. It's just a great time. You get to go to the Opry. It's great. And backstage is even better. It's really a blessing to be able to do that. Once I get done with that, we'll see our friends at the ICMA, and we went to Dunlap, Tennessee, seen Cody McCarver's studio, and that town has embraced Christian country music. I think they call it outlaw Christian country music or something like that, but nonetheless, that town has embraced everything I've been trying to do here. They've done. I talked to the city council. Met the city council, met the mayor. They're all behind Cody. They're all behind what he wants to do. He's got that park venue out there. You can park motorhomes, and he got setups for vendors. Nice stage. And they got places throughout the town. They are ready for it. They're sold. And, I mean, they're behind it. Unbelievable. I'm like, man. And their location is not as good as our location. I mean, we're right off the interstate. Right in the middle of Houston and New Orleans. Anyway, it was something to see. And they were excited about it. And the lady said, well, when are you coming, Hunter? We got a place for you here in the radio station. I'm like, don't tempt me. And they were serious. They really were. They were serious. We could go there in a heartbeat. But you know, when God puts you somewhere, what you going to do? When God sticks you somewhere, here's the thing. Seriously. I got nothing holding me here. I'm tied down to nothing. There's nothing that is holding me here that I can't move somewhere. What I'm doing here, I can do anywhere. In a place like that that's willing to support it, probably could do better than what I'm doing here. but I would be out of the will of God. And I'm not going to do that. Can't be out of the will of God. God can't bless that. If you're out of his will, you're not going to be blessed. I can tell you that right now. But the town is great. Dunlap, Tennessee is beautiful. And they're going to have it, if they continue the path they're on, it's going to be a great place to go and hear Christian country music. It really will be. So after that, we're headed to Owensboro, Kentucky for the first leg of the Sound of Small Town America. And I'm going to be a judge for that. Now, Sound of Small Town America, this is in with the Inspirational Country Music Association. And they're going to the small towns and they're finding the best talent they can find. And they're taking 5 winners from each place. And then they're going to compete in Nashville for being able to have a record or album. And they'll have a release with that. They'll get to write original songs and work with some producers. It's a cool deal. I'm going to get to judge the first 2 legs of that. The last 2 legs I won't. I removed myself on the third one because it was here and I had people I knew in it. So I didn't think it'd be fair for me to do that and continue to judge. But the first 2, I was there. Owensboro, man, they went all out. That's Steve Bridgman's hometown. He worked with the city there. I believe they honored Steve as well. But man, they just had stages and they had promotions. They did it really well. It was really nice. And we were in the hotel on the Ohio River. And right across that river was Indiana. So I'm like, wow, pretty cool. Now I can't remember if it's Indiana or Ohio. There was another state just right across. You cross the bridge and you're in the state. A different state. I know I was in Kentucky, though. I know that much. I know I was in Kentucky, in Owensboro. And that was a great time, too. So I come back after a good trip. It was a good trip. No problem coming back. When I come back, though, I find out my birth dad, he has stage 4 cancer in his lungs. They give him about 4 weeks, and that's about it. Now, I didn't talk very much about that. There was no need to. As you know from the previous episode, that was the stressor I talked about. And there's a lot of stuff that went into that. He passed. I'll tell you about that in the next episode or so. I'm coming back to more issues. So the issues didn't stop. There's still more crap coming. It's a crap storm. It ain't stopping. The crap storm ain't stopping. It's there's more getting ready to be piled on. So it ain't done yet. I'm telling you, this 2023, I can't wait for it to be over. Because 2024 is looking a lot better. I'm going to leave that right there. I hope you're enjoying these podcasts. There's a reason they're called Unmiked. A lot of stuff. Check out hunterlogan.org. Check out some of my music. It's on Reverb Nation as well. The older stuff is for sure. The swamp pop stuff. For those of you who are wondering about it. Again, check out HLE Radio. App is free. Download that. Remember, God has a goodwill towards you. He's a good God. And there is nothing that you have done that he hasn't made allowance for. He's not waiting to beat you over the head with a big stick. That's not the God we serve. I promise you. Hey, I hope to see you on the next one. Remember Matthew 6:33.